The Sri Lankan military says one soldier has been killed and at least 11 injured during a battle with Tamil tigers in the northern district of Vavuniya. Well, the government says it believes the rebels also suffered heavy casualties. As losses continue to mount from the decades-old conflict, another group has been caught in the political crossfire, Sri Lankan Muslims. Well, they see themselves as a separate ethnic group. Nearly three-quarters of Sri Lanka's 21 million population is Sinhalese, and Muslims make up less than 8% of the population. They've suffered ethnic cleansing, massacres and forced displacement by the Tamil rebels. In one eastern province, around 50,000 Muslims live in a small village of only 1.5 square kilometres. It's the most densely populated Muslim area in the world. Aljazeera's Tony Birtley visited Kattan-kudi and a neighbouring village known as Saddam Hussein, where he found people living in constant fear of more violence.
At a mosque in the suburbs of Colombo, the Muslim call to prayer. It's been heard in Sri Lanka ever since the first seafarers from Arabia settled here. The Muslims of those days enjoyed good lives as merchants, traders and sea captains. Today there are more than 2 million Muslims in Sri Lanka and the good times have gone. Now they find themselves in the middle of a war, squeezed between Tamil separatists and the majority Sinhalese.
The Sinhalese expect the Muslims to be with them. The Tamils expect the Muslims who are in the Tamil-speaking areas to be with them. And we don't want to take any side, but we are very much concerned about our problems. Our problems have been neglected for the last 50 years.
The community of Kattan-kudi in the eastern province has felt that squeeze more than most, and they have suffered. 17 years after Tamil gunmen staged simultaneous attacks on 2 mosques here, the memories are as vivid as the bullet-ridden walls. Mohammed ISMAIL demonstrates how he dived for cover when the shooting started, and he was hit through the leg.
The gunman asked Sharif Deen to recite the verses from the Quran. After that, everyone was killed.
Altogether, 103 people were murdered. The oldest was 70, the youngest 6. His name was Akram. He died alongside his 8-year-old brother Talha, and they are buried in a mass grave with the other victims. Their grieving father was away on business.
My sons, they didn't go to fight with them. They went to the mosque to worship Allah, and the children that went there didn't return.
More than 7,000 Muslims have been killed since the war began, and they've had land confiscated, but most are scared to speak out. The Muslims here say they feel alone and abandoned by the government, the international community, and Muslims abroad.
Muslim countries have not done anything for the Muslims in Sri Lanka. I'm very sorry to say that.
But not every Muslim. This is Saddam Hussein village. The Iraqi dictator is still revered here. He gave money for homes and a new mosque after the village was devastated by a cyclone in 1978. It's the last time, they say, they received help from a Muslim country. Most seek help from the Quran, but a few Muslim youths are becoming frustrated and angry by a system which they say deprives them of rights and a voice in the peacemaking process. Men like these. There is talk of an armed movement already beginning, of a jihad which the Muslim community denies is happening now, but who knows what will happen in the future.
And no one is talking about or taking us serious because we have not taken up arms. So the youth feel the only way to make them realize the Muslim plight and find a solution is the armed struggle.
It's not certain if those words were merely an idle threat, but there is growing resentment within the Muslim community here. One thing is certain, though, the Sri Lankan government can ill afford another armed minority joining this bloody conflict. Tony Birtley, Aljazeera, Saddam Hussein village, eastern Sri Lanka.